the most important thing that has happened to our community in the past 2 weeks since we last met has been from the federal government. So about 9% of the Virginia economy of the workforce is employed in nonprofits. And that is actually much, much higher in our region because we have UVA, we have a lot of regional environmental nonprofits, we have a lot of things driven by that engine. And so the administration's illegal impoundment of Congress's approved funds has really thrown a lot of people's work life into jeopardy. We have a lot of professionals in this area, especially affiliated with the university, who work on federal contracts. The Doge administration has begun illegally and line-by-line efforts to eliminate and cancel those individual contracts. That has resulted in things like stop work orders. My closest friend yesterday had to lay off 30 people and is himself probably going to be, furloughed for the next 3 months and probably fired at the end of those 3 months. I know this is happening to a lot of other people in the university who administer federal contracts. This was just reported on yesterday in Seaville Weekly. Trans folks under 20 in our community, many of them adults, have had their care terminated by an illegal order. This means a complete loss of access to their psychiatrists, an interruption of their medical care that includes, medication, hormones, that is being abruptly stopped mid-cycle. I have personally received calls from close friends who are concerned that they don't know how to get a passport anymore, and they want to know what kind of lawyer I should be referring to them to. And the answer is there isn't a kind of lawyer for this problem yet because it's so novel. I am going on Friday to what is an emergency wedding, which is a really disastrous pair of words to put together between two trans friends of mine. Our school system was specifically named in a legal order that sought to take away curricular control from that school system. The officers on this dais have been threatened by the Department of Justice if we attempt to interfere with any of these actions. There is, in our own budget, 1,500 people who receive housing choice vouchers that allow them to live where they do. AHIP is funded in large part by community development block grants and home grants through Charlottesville and then through the Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission. And really importantly, the telecom initiative that we're using to expand broadband throughout the county. While it is a state grant, it in turn receives money from federal grants. And it is not clear to me if that means that there is going to be a potential interruption of work laying the line in Keene that is expected to come later this year. That's something I'm going to be very concerned about, and we don't have a clear answer as a community yet. And lastly, Latinos and immigrants are a significant part of our population. They're especially a significant part of my district, the Scottsville district, where I have one of the largest concentrations of this community, period. And some of them are undocumented. And those undocumented people make up about 1/4 of the construction workforce in this county. They make up about 1/4 of the agricultural workforce in this county, which are two industries that we talk about a lot, about the importance of sustaining them and supporting them. I do not know of any credible claims of an ICE raid in this community, but people are very scared. I was part of a call that went out to lawyers to court watch in case ICE started coming into civil and criminal docket calls to take people out as they came in. There were some students from MHS who organized a very large, peaceful rally that came out of joy, but also fear for their community. This is all just to say that these are uncertain and harrowing times, and I don't think it does us any good to pretend that that is not true. The current American federal administration is filled with a contempt and sometimes a hatred for Americans. This requires that as a community, we have really strong backbones and a lot of moral grit. And the people on this dais disagree with each other about a lot of things, right? I'm sure quite a lot of them disagree that this is an appropriate statement to make. But what I can assure you that they all agree on is that they have steel backbones on this dais and a good bit of moral grit. So I hope the community can take some solace in that. Thank you.